Okay, everyone, we're back with more of Learning Russian. We're up to lesson 37. So we're getting close to being done with these verbs of motion. So we have three more lessons here, 37, 30, and 39, about specific prefixes. Well, this one's also about a suffix regarding verbs of motion. And then finally, we have lesson 40, which concludes verbs of motion before we start getting into other stuff. So it's been a lot, but we're getting close to the end. So lesson 37 is about verbs of motion, as you can see, with the prefixes za and ob, or abo. Now, the previous lessons tended to have suffixes which were kind of opposites of each other. This one is not really, in my opinion, it's not one of those cases because za is not really an opposite of ob in my opinion. They're just kind of, they're different. I mean, they don't really seem to go together, in my opinion. I don't really see how they fit together. They're just two different verbs of motion, which I guess they decided to include in one lesson, just so that they wouldn't have to do just one suffix for the entire lesson. So, what is za? Well, za in Russian generally means something like behind. It's often used as a prefix to mean behind something. So that can be one meaning of it, but it also has a few other meanings. It actually, in the context of this lesson, it has kind of, I guess, two main meanings, which we'll see. Let's get to that later. Ob or abo is more straightforward here. It basically translates to the English around. So if you're going around something, use it to say, for example, going around the world. Use it also if you're going around an obstacle, or you can also use it to say look around. So it's basically, yeah, it's basically equivalent to the English around, or in German So let's go ahead and start off here. So as usual, we have a dialogue. We have a dialogue with a red-haired woman who doesn't look like that's her natural red hair, but and then a guy here, and I think this is also a guy, probably also a male, a man, so a woman and two guys. So let's see. Yeah, indeed. So there's Marina, who's obviously the woman, and then Victor and Anton are the men here. So let's listen in.
Ну что, мы едем в выходные на дачу?
Конечно, едем. Будем делать шашлыки.
Если будем делать шашлыки, надо заехать в магазин и купить мясо.
Давайте я заеду на рынок, он недалеко от моего дома.
А когда выезжаем? В пятницу вечером или в субботу рано утром?
Лучше в пятницу вечером.
А пробки? В пятницу все поедут после работы за город.
А если поедем в субботу рано утром, то ночь потеряем.
Хорошо, давайте сделаем так. Сегодня я заеду на рынок за мясом и продуктами. В пятницу вечером после работы я заеду домой за вещами.
А мы заедем за друзьями и потом, часов в 10 вечера, поедем на дачу.
Ну ладно, договорились.
Okay. All right. So making plans about what they're going to do on the weekend. So Marina asks,
Ну что, мы едем в выходные на дачу?
"Ну что?" Something like, well then. Мы едем, are we, she's asking us a question, so are we driving в выходные, on the weekend, на дачу, to the dacha, which, you know, is one of those Russian summer houses.
Конечно, едем. Будем...
Конечно, едем. So we've had this in previous lessons, hopefully you remember still. Едем is just, we drive. Or we go by car or by wheeled transit.
Будем делать шашлыки?
Будем делать шашлыки. Will we make shashlik? Shashlik is, a Russian food. It's kind of like shish kebab. It's like meat and vegetables and things put onto those wooden skewers.
Если будем делать шашлыки, надо заехать в магазин и купить мясо.
Okay, so what verb goes in here? It's заехать. So we're already seeing here the use of a verb of motion with za at the beginning. Если будем делать шашлыки, if we are going to make shashlik, Надо заехать в магазин и купить мясо. So basically, he's saying we need to go to the store and buy meat. But what's the significance of using заехать as opposed to just ехать or something like that? За here basically means to stop in briefly. So basically, it's kind of like in English to pop into the store or stop in at the store to buy meat. That's what за means in this context.
Давайте я заеду на рынок, он недалеко от моего дома.
That guy speaks fast. So he said заеду. Давайте, come on. Я заеду на рынок. Again, заеду. So I'll stop in basically. I'll pop in quickly на рынок at the market. Он недалеко от моего дома. He's not far from my house.
А когда выезжаем? В пятницу вечером или в субботу рано утром?
And when выезжаем, and when are we driving out? So вы, you might recall, means to go out from. So I guess they're saying when do we head out? When do we drive out? В пятницу вечером, on Friday night, или в субботу рано утром, or Saturday early in the morning.
Лучше в пятницу вечером.
Better on Friday night.
А пробки? В пятницу все поедут после работы за город.
А пробки? So, and what about traffic jams? В пятницу, on Friday, все поедут. So, here now we have, basically he's saying, on Friday, everyone drives after work за город, which, so за город means basically, well, it literally means behind the city, but it's kind of like, it can be used to mean in the suburbs, like the suburbs are also за город, or it can mean, in a broader sense, just out of the city, like beyond the city limits, let's say.
А если поедем в субботу рано утром, то ночь потеряем.
But if drive on Saturday early in the morning, то ночь потеряем, we lose the night. So basically, we'll miss out on the night, or I guess we'll lose the opportunity to drive in the night.
Хорошо, давайте сделаем так.
Okay. Давайте сделаем так. So let's do it like this.
Сегодня я заеду на рынок за мясом и продуктами.
Okay, so сегодня я заеду. Again, за. So сегодня я заеду на рынок. Today I'll pop in at the market за мясом, for meat, и продуктами, and groceries. I think meat counts as part of the groceries, but okay. So this word za here is kind of, it's kind of versatile. He's using it for this to indicate the purpose. So he says he заедуз на рынок. He stops in at the store за мясом, for the purpose of meat, or for meat. So, za also means like for the purpose of, like to indicate the purpose of the trip. There's also a common question in Russian is zачем, which basically means why, but it's more like for what purpose. I mean, it often translates into English as why, but the more general meaning is for what purpose. So if somebody says, I'm going to go to the store, you can say зачем, and then they might say за мясом, for meat, or за продуктами, for products, for groceries.
В пятницу вечером после работы я заеду домой за вещами.
Okay, so the verb that he used here was again, if I'm not mistaken, заеду. So, в пятницу вечером, on Friday night or Friday evening, после работы, after work, я заеду домой за вещами. I stop in at home, so I заеду at home. За вещами. So again, for something. Here he's saying for the So вещи is like stuff, things. I'm gonna stop at home for my stuff.
А мы заедем за друзьями и потом часов в 10 вечера поедем на дачу.
Okay, мы заедем, and then the last word is поедем here. Okay. Мы заедем за друзьями, and we заедем for friends. So we'll stop in for friends, and after that, часов в 10 вечера at 10 o'clock in the evening, поедем на дачу. Then we'll go to the dacha.
Ну ладно, договорились.
Okay, well, okay, agreed. So there we go. That was the first dialogue. And now we have a second dialogue. This one is between сестра and брат, between a sister and brother. So let's see what... the sister appears to be standing in front of a jewelry store, and the brother is standing in Duma? It is Duma. Okay, what is Duma? I actually don't know what. I see. It's okay. I think. I get it. This is. It's not a Russian word. It's Duma, the French name, because of course there was that father and son team of French writers, the father and son Duma. That's what it means here. Okay, so it's. I was trying to think what does Duma mean in Russian, but it's not a Russian word. It's Monsieur Duma, father and son.
Ну что, нашел подарок?
Нет еще. Я хотел купить маме полное собрание сочинений Дюма. Обошел все книжные магазины, но не нашел.
Дюма отец или Дюма сын?
А что, было два Дюма? Ладно, посмотрю что-нибудь другое. А ты уже купила подарок?
Тоже нет. Искала кольцо с янтарем, обошла все ювелирные магазины. Но или очень дорого, или некрасиво.
Слушай, у меня идея. Давай купим маме тур в Скандинавию и все.
Почему туда?
Ну, помнишь, она говорила, что хочет объехать Финляндию, Норвегию, Данию, посмотреть на фьорды.
Молодец. Давай зайдем в турфирму и выберем.
Пошли.
Okay, so they're trying to buy a gift for their mother, and that's what it's all about. So, what does the sister say?
Ну что, нашел подарок?
Well, did you find a gift?
Нет еще. Я хотел купить маме полное собрание сочинений Дюма.
No yet. Well, no. Normally you'd say еще нет to mean not yet, but he already said нет, so I guess he didn't want to say it again, so he just says еще. So no yet. I wanted to buy mom or mama the complete works of Duma.
Обошел все книжные магазины, но не нашел.
So the word that he puts in there is обошел. So here we see the use of the prefix obol, which means basically here in this context, he went around. So like he went and looked around in every книжные магазины, in every bookstore. Но не нашел. He did not find it.
Дюма отец или Дюма сын?
Duma the father or Duma the son?
А что, было два Дюма?
What, there were two Dumas?
Ладно, посмотрю что-нибудь другое.
Okay, I'll look for something else.
А ты уже купила подарок?
And did you already buy a gift?
Тоже нет. Искала кольцо с янтарем, обошла все ювелирные магазины.
Also not. I went looking for a ring с янтарем, with amber. And so she wrote or she didn't write, she said обошла. So the guy says обошел because this is the masculine past tense form, but the woman says обошла because that's the feminine past tense form.
Но или очень дорого, или некрасиво.
Oh, I didn't finish the sentence here. So she looked. So обошла. So she went around to all the ювелирные магазины, the jewelry stores. Но или очень дорого, или некрасиво. So either they were very expensive or not beautiful.
Слушай, у меня идея.
Listen, I have an idea.
Давай купим маме тур в Скандинавию и все.
Let's go and buy mom or mama a tour of Scandinavia, and that's it.
Почему туда?
Why there? Why Scandinavia?
Ну, помнишь, она говорила, что хочет объехать Финляндию, Норвегию, Данию.
Okay, so let's put in the word here, объехать. Again, ob, to go around. So remember, she said she wanted to go around Finland, Norway, and Denmark.
Посмотрит на фьорды.
Look at the fjords.
Молодец. Давай зайдем в турфирму и выберем.
Пошли.
Okay, so the last word, of course, is this one. Зайдем. So, молодец, good job. Давай зайдем в турфирму. Let's go to a tour firm, like a tourist agency or tourist agency. Tour agency. И выберем, and choose, choose the vacation. Пошли, let's go. Okay, so here we have now some examples of verbs using за. So, for example, в мое окно залетел лист. So the leaf flew in through the window. It's not really clear why they're using za here. This is kind of a confusing usage of it because it's not necessarily apparent why you'd use za in this context. Here it's more clear. Он забежал в аптеку, чтобы купить йод. So he ran. In English, you'd say like he ran in, not in the sense of, not literally like ran inside, but he stopped in. He забежал, he made a quick stop here at the apothecary or drugstore while running to buy йод. I should know what йод is, but is that iodine? In Western countries, you very rarely buy iodine, or at least I've never heard of somebody buying iodine in a drugstore. It's just not something that is really commonly used these days in the West, but it might be. Yeah, it is iodine. I know it used to be commonly used as a remedy for, I guess it's a disinfectant, but I don't think it's much used anymore. But maybe in Russia they still commonly buy iodine at drugstores. Who knows? Anyway, лодка заплыла за остров. Yeah, so the boat went. So за остров means it went behind the island. That part is clear. But again, why заплыла? That's not as clear. It means it went to there. But you could, yeah. You can kind of, okay, let's hold off on that for a second. Мы зашли в магазин за хлебом. So we stopped into the store for bread. Again, make a quick trip to the store for bread. Okay, then you use за. We went quickly, made a quick stop into the store. And then машина заезжает во двор. The car drove into the door. If we go here, though, to the full list of verbs of motion, there's kind of an explanation here. The prefix za denotes movement of a person or transport behind an object or a person's short stay somewhere. Verbs with the prefix za answer the questions куда, к кому. So remember, куда means, here, where to. I don't like this. I actually don't like the use of the word where here because it should be more like where to where, or to whom. So the reason why these words are using za at the beginning of the verb of motion is to indicate it went to, therehin. It went over yonder. It went in that direction towards that place. So that's what it means here, but it's a little bit difficult for English speakers, I think, because English doesn't really have, as far as I can think of, English doesn't really have an equivalent to this. I mean, if you say that you're going somewhere, I'll just say, in English you just say the car went into the door or drove through the door. But in Russian, za here is being used to indicate that it went to that place. It's going to the place indicated. Now this makes sense here, for example, for the boat, because it went to the place behind the island. Okay, I can buy that. But it's still not really clear to me, the thing with the leaf here, because in my window blew a leaf, like it didn't really blow into the window, it blew through the window. So the usage of prefixes here is pretty confusing. I mean, it is what it is. I think it's one of those things you just have to get used to. If you start speaking Russian, you just have to get used to the way that Russians use these kinds of prefixes, sometimes in verbs of motion. It's not necessarily something that I can really concretely explain in a sensible way. It's more like one of those things that you just have to get used to, and how native speakers use it in their language. And then, like I said, ob and the bo are simpler. It's basically just, it translates pretty directly to the word around in English. So, for example, Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space, облетел всю Землю за 108 minut. Yuri Gagarin flew around. Облетел flew around the entire Earth in 108 minutes. Каждое утро он оббегает весь парк. So every morning he runs around the entire park. Лодка обплыла остров. The boat went around the island. Они обошли весь город и посмотрели все достопримечательности. Okay, I have to admit I don't know. I do not know that last word there. But обошли весь город, they walked around the entire city. So, and then looked at whatever a достопримечательности is. It's kind of like, I mean, obviously they looked at whatever's on that paper, but I don't know if that's a map or something else. Okay, and этот русский путешественник объездил весь мир. So this Russian traveler drove around the entire world. So yeah, ob is easier for English speakers because it translates directly to around, but there's no direct English translation for za, so you kind of have to just get used to how Russians use it. All right, so now we need to conjugate for verbs of motion. The first one is zайти, to quickly stop in somewhere by walking, in this case. So let's begin. Let's see. Я зайду. Ты зайдешь is already there. And actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and, as I did before, I will copy and paste it from here. Yeah, just very quickly, I just saw this picture here of ob. So you can see the car drove around this puddle. So yeah, car bypassed some object. Объехала. Drove around. Мы обошли все магазины. So here the verb obviously implies that we went into all stores and looked for presents. So basically, looked around. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, so we are on зайти. So он and она зайдет. Мы зайдем. Вы зайдете. Они зайдут. Past tense forms are он зашел, она зашла, and они зашли. So, fine. And then заходить. Same thing, except now it's multidirectional instead of unidirectional. So, я захожу, ты заходишь, он or она заходит, мы заходим, вы заходите, они заходят, он заходил, она заходила, and они заходили. Yes. Okay. Number 3 is obходить, to walk around. And number 4 is obойти. So these both mean to walk around, but of course obходить is multidirectional and obойти is single directional. So obходить, where do we have obходить? Here we have obходить. Я обхожу, ты обходишь, он and она обходит, мы обходим, вы обходите, and они обходят. Он обходил, она обходила, and они обходили. And finally, for this exercise, is the conjugation of обойти. Oh boy, I'm excited about обойти. Я обойду. Oh, I обойду. Ты обойдешь. Он обойдет. Oh, my обойдем is already there, so let's move on to вы обойдете. Они обойдут. Past tense forms are indeed он обошел, and она обошла, and они обошли. And I appear to have made a mistake. How does this happen to me? Like every time now. Is this unbelievable. Okay, let's see. So let me check my notes here then. Вы тут обойдете, он, она обойдет, ты обойдешь, я обойду. This looks correct, looks like the right stuff. Обходить, what is supposed to be here? Я обхожу, ты обходишь, обходит, обходим, обходят, обходила, and обходили. That looks right to me. For заходить, what do we have? We have я захожу, заходишь, заходит, заходим, заходите, заходил, заходили. Everything looks quite in order. So, right here at the beginning. Right here at the beginning, I put a regular E instead of I kratki. That was it. That was my mistake. Sorry, folks. That was, once again, my mistake. This needs to be, it's not written with just a regular E. It's written with I kratki, as it's called in Russian. So, sorry. That was my fault. All right, exercise 4, we have 10 sentences to fill, well, 9 actually, because one of them's already filled in. We have the first sentence, Он зашел в магазин за хлебом. I think this one's fairly easy by now. Зашел, he dropped in quickly to the store, за хлебом, for bread. Okay, мы something весь Мюнхен за 2 дня. Okay. So I'm going to guess they're saying they went around all of München, or Munich in South Germany, in 2 days. So this will then be ob, because ob is around. And, you know, once again, I'm still sometimes very confused and kind of not in agreement of the usage between multidirectional and single directional verbs of motion, because if you're saying we walked around Munich for this time, then I don't think that you'd use обойти, because this is a single directional verb of motion, and very specifically the verb to walk around should be more like you should be using something like hadith because you didn't have a specific goal. You didn't go from point A to point B. You just kind of walked wherever you wanted to, possibly in several directions. So in my mind, this should very definitely be ob hadith, but they apparently want you to use, for whatever reason, the single directional verb of motion. So it's oboiti, and it's plural past tense, so it's мы обошли весь Мюнхен за 2 дня. Here also they're using за for the length of time, so за 2 дня, they did it in 2 days. Посмотрели все достопримечательности is sites. It's city sites. I get it. So we had, where did we have it here? Yeah. И посмотрели все, this word. It's the sites, it means sites of, like sites in the sense of tourism, tourist sites. Okay. So there you go. So they walked around Munich in 2 days and saw all the tourist sites in Munich. Munich's, it's not a giant city, but it's large enough that I'm not sure you could see all the tourist attractions in 2 days. But I guess you could see it in 2 days if you're, yeah, there's not. Munich's kind of a compact city, so I guess you could see it in 2 days. Okay. Mark, это ты вчера something ко мне в офис? Oh, I see. Mark, это ты? Was it you, or is it you? Вчера something ко мне в office. So is it you who yesterday came to my office? So I'm going to guess that Mark didn't go around the office. He probably stopped in at the office briefly. So let's go ahead and say that it would be something with za. Question again is it single directional or multi-directional? Here they want you to use, for whatever reason, multi-directional. Hadith, za hadith. And of course, Mark, assuming Mark is a guy, and then this is past tense because it happened вчера, yesterday, then we would say he заходил ко мне в office. So, Mark, was it you yesterday who stopped into my office? And then Mark responds, да, я заходил. We don't need to reconjugate this because past tense is the same for ты and я. Да, я заходил к тебе, я был недалеко, хотел попить кофе вместе с тобой. Yes, I stopped in by you or at your place or your office. Я был недалеко. I was not far away, or in English you'd say I was in the area, but he's saying I was not far, so I guess that's what he means. Хотел попить кофе вместе с тобой. I wanted to drink coffee together with you. Туристы за 5 часов something вид Кремль и его музей. So again, I'm going to say, since they were at the Kremlin, they walked around the entire Kremlin. So, туристы, the tourists, again, it's plural past tense. Only question is it obchodit or oboiti? Here, for whatever reason, it's oboshli. Do not ask me why. That's just what they want you to put here. So the tourists in 5 hours walked around the entire Kremlin and its museum. Им очень понравилось. They really liked it. To them, it was really pleasing. Всегда будьте внимательны, когда something стройку. Стройку is construction or a building, or here it's like a construction site in English. So I'm going to assume it says always be careful. You wouldn't really say then always be careful going to the construction site, even though that kind of makes sense as well, but it makes more sense to say always be careful around the construction site. So I'm going to go ahead and say it's obo something. Question is just then, is it obchodit or oboiti? Well, here it makes a little more sense. It's obchodite. It's вы because the person is speaking, I guess, to a group of people, not just to one person. Or it could be that they're speaking respectfully to one person, so they're saying to one person вы instead of ты. But yeah, so it's saying всегда будьте внимательны, always be attentive, когда обходите стройку, when walking around construction site. Is it construction sites? No, I think this is singular, so it's like when walking around the construction site. Okay, после работы друзья something в бар и выпили пиво. So, после работы, after work, друзья something в бар. It wouldn't really make much sense if they walked around the bar, would it? I think it makes much more sense that they stopped in at the bar. So we're going to use something with za. Question is it zaходить or зайти? Well, it appears to be зайти. And since it's plural past tense, then it's зашли. So, после работы друзья зашли в бар и выпили пиво. After work, friends stopped in at bar and drank beer. Привет. Почему в гости не something? Hi. Why in the hotel? Oh, wait, no. Hotel is гостиница. Duh. Gosti is, I think I talked about this before, it's one of those Russian constructions that's confusing to English speakers. It literally like in guest, but it means like visit as a guest. So, почему в гости не The problem is, it's not really clear here, are you speaking to one person or several? Or is this speaker speaking to one person or several? So if it was several people, you'd use вы. If it's one person whom you know well, you'd use ты. Well, in this case, just according to my notes, it's you'd use the ты for, but that's not really clear from the text. That's something that you wouldn't know from looking at it. But yeah, okay, so they're telling the person to stop in to visit, so it's ты, or it's за, I should say. It's за because they're asking the person to stop in to visit. The question is then, is it зайти or is it заходить? Well, for whatever reason, again, don't ask me why, it's заходить. And since they're saying ты to this person, which you wouldn't know, it's not apparent from the text, somehow you're just supposed to guess that, then, of course, the ты form for заходить is ты заходишь. So, Привет, почему в гости не заходишь? Hi, why don't you stop in to visit? Мы тебя ждем. We for you wait. We're waiting for you. Ладно, может быть в субботу something. Okay, maybe on Saturday I will come. And here, for whatever reason, now even though they told the person to заходить, suddenly the person says they will зайти. Okay, в субботу зайду. Maybe I'll stop in on Saturday. Man, all this multi-directional and single-directional stuff, it's still not clear after all this time. I still can't really explain why they tell the person to заходишь, and the person replies, yeah, okay, I'll зайду. Whatever. Где у вас вход? Where do you have the entrance? Я уже something всё здание, но ничего не увидел. I already something the entire building, but did not see anything. So obviously they walked around the building, so it's ob or it's ob. Question then is it обойти or is it обходить? Well, here it appears to be обойти, and so since it's past tense, it's обошел. Also, this is, actually I'm curious, is this one of those things where I think sometimes in these fill-in-the-blank exercises, sometimes they will accept multiple answers. The reason I mention this is because nowhere here is it mentioned, unless I missed it. Is there any indication here? Oh, actually, I was going to say it's not clear if the speaker is male or female, because if it's a female speaker, then obviously you'd have an A here at the end of this verb. But actually, here they say uvidiel. So it would be uvidiela if it was a woman. So, okay, the fact that they're using uvidiel means it's a male speaker. So, okay, then it's clear you should use ovощiol here. So, где у вас вход? Я уже овощил все здание, но ничего не увидел. Where's your entrance? I already walked around the entire building, but did not see anything. Russian architecture is sometimes confusing and unintuitive. Okay, дети всегда something этот дом. Children always do something with this house. Потому что там живет злая собака. Because there lives an evil dog. Well, okay, Zlaya is like the German böse. It can mean evil, but I think here in this case it just means like angry. Yeah, because, it can mean evil or angry. So, okay, so then it makes sense that the children probably go around the house. You could also theorize that they stop in at the house every time because there's an angry dog there, but I think it's more likely that they're saying the children go around the house. So, something with ob, and do they obojti or obchodit? Well, they obchodit, and because it's third person plural, it becomes obchodят. So, дети всегда обходят этот дом, потому что там живет злая собака. Children always walk around this house because there lives an angry dog. Or an evil dog. I mean, I guess the dog could be evil as well. That would also be justification for the children to walk around the house, perhaps. And finally, она сказала, что something в магазин на 5 минут, а я жду ее уже 2 часа. Okay, so she says that she would go into the store, so obviously she didn't go around the store, she za something'd the store. So is it then, so they're using present tense for ana of zaiti, so it's zaidiot. There we go. Everything is fine. Everything went well. Она сказала, что зайдет в магазин на 5 минут, а я жду ее уже 2 часа. She said that go in store for 5 minutes, but I wait her already 2 hours. Or in English, she said she would go in the store for 5 minutes, but I've already been waiting for her for 2 hours. Okay, fine. And now we have 4 more wonderful verbs to conjugate. Let's see, do we want to pause here? Let's make a little pause because we're halfway through now. There are 8 exercises in this lesson, and we've done 4. So we're pretty much exactly halfway through. So let's actually go ahead and make a nice pause here, and we will continue lesson number, what lesson number is this? 37. We will continue lesson 37 in the next video. This makes a nice halfway stopping point, so I'll stop here. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you folks in the next video.